And we're live! Central European Time from London. And this is Meshmen Studio and the Mori channel. And yeah, we're gonna take a look at materials today in Mori. But first, let's take this coffee and welcome. And if you're new here and you wanna hang out with me a few days a week and take a look at Maya Renderman and VFX, consider subscribing to my channel. Cheers! So yeah, and the chat is open and let's dive into it. So we have a new section today. We have news! And so a few episodes ago I was talking about the new Renderman stuff that's coming out, so let's dive into this. We have this Renderman site here and a news blog, so let's take a look. This is what I wanted to show, the Renderman Art and Science Fair. So this is what looks very interesting. It's the, so if you go to Renderman Pixar and go to the news and the blog, you can find this. And especially down here we can see some of the new like the continuous rendering. Let's see if we can play something here. So it's something that looks very interesting. So it's gonna be Renderman always running, and this is Renderman 22 obviously. It was a sneak peek from SIGGRAPH. And as I'm a Renderman user, I'm really looking forward to this kind of technology because I really like the IPR stuff in Renderman. But if they can make it like so we can move objects and all of that, that would be really cool. So let's see. And also down here we can see the XPU. That's a combination of CPU and GPU. So make sure to go into their site here and take a look at that, because it's very interesting and it tells us what's gonna come into the future. And yeah, so let's dive into my work now. And let's see. So yeah, this is where I left off. We're gonna just take a sneak peek here of the textures from the last time. So let's fire up an IPR. And yeah, so I exported out my hold on. I exported my my maps from Mori, so I'm just gonna do an IPR and take a look at how it looks at the moment and what we're gonna take a look at. So I'm planning to refine some of the base materials. So the base materials is essentially where I left them off. Yeah. Pete is in the house grabbing coffee. That's always nice. So I have my usual Kenyan AA today. It's my trusty go-to blend, or it's not a blend, it's a single origin coffee. Let's see, I have a fairly big, maybe I should go to a smaller resolution here. I'm just gonna lower some like that so we can hear me speak. Yeah, here we go. So let's dive into this. So this is something in Renderman 22. I think it's gonna be even faster to move around like this, especially when with the preview I saw, and that's gonna be really interesting to see. And let's see, maybe I have to pump up the exposure here a bit. So I was working down here, for example, let's see, on the front here. So yeah, Triton asks, can you please show how you connect the exported shaders? Yes, I can briefly just take a look at the shader network. So let's see if I pause this here, the IPR, and take the hypershade. So it's very simplistic at the moment. It's just a Pixar surface here, and I have the color, the different colors. So this is the color, this is the diffuse color. It goes into the diffuse color here in the shader, and the phase color is specular phase color. So if you look at the shader, this is how it looks. So I'm using the artistic mode. That's what I was deving. So you have this artistic and the physical. So the artistic is essentially, you have two sliders with the face color is facing towards the camera, and the edge is facing away from the camera 19 degree. So it's kind of the Fresnel. You can set it by having two values, and that's how I have textured this. And then we have this, the roughness, spec rough, can rename that. And I'm using the Pixar texture node to read the textures. So you browse to a UDIM sequence, and you set it to Mari, and you have to have if I would browse to a texture here, for example, Mari out source, this is where I have exported my textures to, and I've also made the text files. So the Renderman needs a format called TEX. So if I would take this one, when it comes in, if I rename this to new input, we see here that we have the file and we have 1001. Hold on. And for it to read the UDIM, you have to rename this. Take away the 1001 and put in underscore map ID with capitals underscore. And the Atlas style, this is where you set it to be Mari. You can also have the Mudbox and the ZBrush extensions there. So yeah, at the moment, this is just the shader I'm using. So it's very simplistic. So yeah. Let's see. Okay, so let's dive into. So yeah, so I'm gonna answer some of the questions in the Q&A later. So if I don't answer everything at the moment in the chat, I'm gonna read through them later on. Just gonna crack on some now. Let's just take a few peeks here on areas. Just take a look here, maybe fire up an IPR. Cheers, everyone. So sit back and have a coffee if you. I was thinking if there's interest to download this model, I can upload it somewhere. leave it in the comments or in the chat. If you see this on the rerun and you wanna have this model to paint along with, I can upload it somewhere on my blog. So let's see. And also it is actually available on the Renderman site actually for download, so we can point you to a direction there. Let's see. So I made it available on the Renderman site. Where is it? Community? Resources. Let's minimize this. It's under, where is the learning tutorials? Somewhere here around. Yeah, here we go. Builds included, the holdout system. And yeah, so I think you can download the model from here actually. But I can make it available. Yeah, there's a zip file here with and there's Pete actually. He's on here in the chat at the moment. So okay, so here we go. So this is where I left off. So I'm thinking I'm gonna dive into actually the base materials and take a look, and also I'm testing out a few new nodes that's gonna, I think, be available in the extension pack soon. So I'm beta testing, and Jens Caffid said it was okay for me to try them out in the live stream, so they are still kind of in beta. But yeah, we're gonna take a look at that as well. There's a new option for the radio node that I really like. It's makes connecting stuff a little bit easier, so you don't have to hunt around that much, and I'm gonna show you that. Let's see, so I was working around this area. We can see in the last time I was like maybe I was adding some scuff along some edges and stuff. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, I think it's time to dive in. So also today I'm thinking about adding some breakup to the actual decals. I started here, so I was chipping away some of the decals without chipping away the metal. So I'm gonna show you where I did that in the node graph. And yeah, let's pause this and discard this, save. And let's open Mori. So yeah, let's take this. I duplicated my project because I wasn't sure if the new nodes that I'm testing out would do something funky, but yeah, it works. Yeah, I just have to upgrade the nodes. So there's a new node called the radio transmitter. So I can show you what it does. And so let's say that I have my let's say radio transmitter. Oh, first off, so there was a question in from the last session about the node graph. So Pete asked about this. So by default, more it comes in. If I go to the node graph settings, preferences, more it comes in. I think it's no port list is the one that is standard when you open more at the first time. So if I make a node now, it's gonna look like this, and it goes from top to bottom, more like it's more like nuke. So, but I set it to this new mode because it makes it easier for me, and that's navigation, no graph, port list, horizontal, and it makes them look like this. This is more like Maya. Yeah. Okay, so we have this new radio now that I'm trying out here that Jens gracefully added, and it works like this. So if I have this occlusion here, and I can hook, I already had one there, but let's hook it up. And let's name it occlusion 2, for example. And now let's say that I'm over here somewhere and I want to use occlusion. So before you made your radio node, scooted over somewhere and then you placed it. But now you can do a radio node and go to MISC, connect to transmitter, and you get a little pop out here, and it's all of the transmitters that's available. So if I now take my occlusion 2 here that I named previously, hit enter. If I now look at this one, it's the occlusion. So it's easier to just get whatever effect you want. So let's say I want to also have my curvature. So I already made a transmitter over where the bakes are. I go to MISC, connect to transmitter. I also have it up there. Curve. So there's my curvature. So I don't have to hunt around for stuff like that. I can just declare it and then I can automatically hook it up. This is very neat. It makes navigating a lot easier. And yeah, let's delete those now. And also something else that's really cool is bookmarks is something that he worked up a little more. So if I have my different bookmarks, I have a bookmark here, for example, dirt mask, and different places. So previously you can jump between them with a cycle forward or backwards. If I take this, cycle forward. But it takes a while. If you have a lot of them and you want to go to some specific place, you might have to cycle a lot. But so we have a little interface now. And so if I mapped it to Alt Q, and then we get a list of all the bookmarks. So if I want to go, for example, to my painted metal, and then I instantly ends up being in onto that bookmark there. So let's say I want to go to my out section. Okay, let's see, where is it? Call out, and then I'm there. So I don't have to cycle. And you can also, let's say, filter here, ISO bookmark, and then you're in the ISO section. this is really good. It makes going to different location a lot easier. So yeah, okay, so I wanted to dive into my material. So I've started a little here. This is where if I take these and disable them, I added these since the last time. So I just want to go into the materials and take a look at breaking them up, make some extra breakup in the diffuse and the specular roughness and stuff like that. So let's take my shader first here and take a look how it looks. So I used the new shader preset. So I made a shader preset. So I'm gonna show you how you can isolate materials in the graph. So this is, let's get some real estate here. This is how it looks. Let's disable this light here, so we just have the HDR. Let's give it some intensity there. So let's say you want to work on this material. Where is my Wacom pen? There it is. Just on the base material for the green paint, for example. But you want to have it shaded, so let's take shader, and there we go. So I have used this save state. This is an extension pack, it's really good. So I've saved the state with color, specular roughness and phase. This is what I've called them. And if I go down here now, if I take this painted metal and go to this place, we have a way to override the shader on the fly here from the graph. So let's say I want to work on this material. I can select this, col, phase and the specular roughness, and then I right click and go to MISC, set nose to shader. It's gonna rewrote the outputs and connect those. It gives it a little second here to update the shader, and now I can just see this material in its raw form from these outputs. So I want to break up this material, and I already started here, so let's go back here and take a look. So what I added this projection here. It's an axis projection that I'm gonna break up with the face or the diffuse here. So I just want to add some like values to this. The same goes for face color. So I have a merge here. Just add some extra interest. And this is the edge color and the roughness. That one I inverted. So this is invert, and I grade it a bit and add it. And then let's see. So before it was just a single color for everything. So I just want to add some extra minimal breakup. Maybe like in the crevices it's a little bit darker. It has been kind of like maybe sun bleached a little, where it's been in the like the sun. And so yeah, I treated it. So I used a occlusion here with a brightness lookup. So this is something that I'm planning to do on my materials. So yeah, can take another material here, like the alloy for example, can make that work as well. So let's take a look. Let's see. So now I want to take a look at the alloy on the shader. I select the color, the face and the roughness, and go to MISC, set nodes to shader. So then we have this as the preview. So I want to break this up, almost make it like some kind of oil feeling on this. And we can do that by I'm gonna add a few merge here. And let's take some kind of procedural. Which one is it? Let's see. I always forget what it's called. Node procedural. The multi FBM. So let's take a look. So this one you can make look kind of like a the oil node. If I take the oil and I go to this, so this one is really nice if you wanna make some kind of oil type of effects. If we go to the organic slider and just crank it, it's gonna have this kind of strange breakup. But one problem with this, notice you can see if it's a large object, let's see, sometimes you can see like there's a streaking going towards the center of the object. It's kind of evident here to the origo. And I guess if I go to display, take the, where is the grid? You can see that it converged down to this point here in the noise. And sometimes that can be quite obvious. And you can make the multi FBM. If you tweak it a bit here, I can't, let's see. Where is it? See if I can make it look like similar. I think it's the multi FBM. Just, or actually is it the let's see here. Is it the VAC FBM maybe? Let's see what we get. I'm just gonna play around here till I find yeah, here we go. This one, when we start to play with this, we can get something that kind of looks similar to that oil node. It's kind of, I guess it's almost the same there. Oh well, let's say that we want to break up this spec and the other effects. It's gonna go back to the shaded mode. So I hit the 0 button there. It's gonna add it in this. That's the roughness. Here we can see the breakup for the roughness. So this is something that's going to be very gentle. So now we want to see it. So this is actually on the metal for the gun here. I'm not sure if you can see it on your monitor there, but yeah. So also I want to add this into these locations. And tweak them. So this one, for example, just take them in order here. Okay, let's see what we have. So this one, let's take it as a mask and add some kind of color and see what we can get from that. And add maybe some kind of, let's see, bluish color. So I want something very subtle here. Let's take it maybe as a multiply, so I just get some kind of a minimal breakup here. So the face color, I can do something similar here. Just want to add some minimal breakup. And the roughness. Let's screen that. Look at the shaded again, see what we got. So this will give some kind of extra interest to the reflection there, and when we get the different scratches and also the dirt on top, it's gonna even give it some more interest. So it's very minimal, but we can see it gives some interest when we start to shift the angle of this, so we can see the reflection. So let's see the painted, this one. So yeah, okay. For this shader to work, we have to have a and the name has to be in the preset of the shader. So what I mean by that, so we can see here I named this col face and s rough. So I need to rename it because I haven't done it, so it will work. So let's rename this to red paint underscore col. Red paint, whoops. Red paint underscore face. Red paint underscore edge. And this one, so I hit the N button to rename red paint underscore S rough with capital. Okay, so let's try this now. So if I want to call, I'm not sure what this one is. Call face and speckle roughness misc. Set nose to shader. And something didn't work there. Let's see. There we go. So this was the red paint on this one that I used. So we can do something similar here with some kind of breakup. Because it's very simplistic, we can maybe add some kind of tree planar and stuff. And also I don't have a bookmark, so let's add a bookmark here. So I can go here quickly, so add a bookmark and name it red paint so we have expert in the chat. So Jens is here, he's checking out live live beta testing kind of on some of this. So okay, so I want to add some breakout to this paint here, and let's take an axis projection. So hello Jens, thanks for the new addition to the notes. That's really cool. I'm really liking it. Let's take something here. I want to have what should I use? Something this one maybe. Let's take it to the roughness first. I should name this a little better. So what's the name again? That's the roughness. Rough col. let's see, I have to add my smart rename. It's not there. Let's see, toolbars. I'm just gonna add the smart rename shortcut there to the toolbar. Where is it? No graph, misc, smart rename. There we go. So we want to add this into the mix. Just gonna see here what we have. Not sure if this is the right one. Maybe if I scale it a bit here. Let's see, screen maybe. No. Well, I'm gonna level this. Do something. What happens if I do like this? I want to have just want to have some of the breakup there. And it's actually this piece, so I wanna see it there. Yeah, let's take a look at in shaded. Just give a little break up there. That's a little too much. So I want to add this into the face and edge color as well now. So painted red can do something there as well. Painted red. Let's rename this to something more so now with my smart rename here, I get a nice name there. That's also extension pack, really good to have. And let's take, I think I want to add some kind of a color breakup on this. Let's take some kind of maybe some kind of other type of red there. And why not treat it a bit differently? Oh, copy, paste. Just a bit, something like that, maybe. Face color, I want to break that up as well. So this is just a single kind of color at the moment. That's the reflectivity facing camera. So I'm gonna take these values here as well. Let's take it to the over instead. Maybe I should invert this. Let's try that. Or I take this one. And let's try invert here, see what happens. So let's say that it's gonna be kind of like where those, so it's gonna be less reflective where those are, those blotches there. Same goes to here. So let's take a look at the material now. If I hit 0, yeah, it's kind of minimal at the moment, but yeah, I can crank it. Let's take the roughness. So it's this piece. Can start to see the breakup there in the reflectivity. So yeah, I think that's kind of, let's tidy this up a bit. So I wish there was a way to straighten some of the, like in Nuke, in a better place. And let's take a look. What's this material? This is the black. gonna rename these as well so I can switch the material. Patent black, coal, face. So and specular roughness. Let's see. Can't remember. Let's see. Let's go back to the default one. Oops. So let's see. Well, how do I get it back? Misc set nodes to shader. I thought it was like this. I've kind of lost it now. You can only switch between last and the current. Okay. So I kind of screw this up now. Let's rehook this call. So we have Jens who programmed this in the chat. So let's see. I'm gonna switch over temporarily to the Q&A so we can see the chat for people on the rerun. So select the channel nodes or just create a brand new shader and it will auto hook up. Let's try that. If I delete this one and make a new AI, because I have the preset saved, so it should hook up now, right? And yes, it did. That's a good tip. So here we go. And yeah, so what I did, I had this problem. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Oh, now my shader is somewhere in the middle of nowhere. That's kind of annoying. I don't like where I place stuff sometimes. Just gonna scoot it over. Ah. This is so annoying. I wish there was a better way to move nodes sometimes. And this is something that more Foundry has to work on. It's kind of clunky this. Okay, so the black, it's this material, so I guess it is I think it's I can't recall which one it is. Let's see. Oh, that's the decal. I just have to go through this now. No, it's, yeah, it's this, the holder was the black one. Yeah, the gun holder. I named it a little strange there. So let's see the ISO for it. Yeah, that's correct. So let's go back to, did I make a preset? A bookmark? I didn't. Let's add that as well. So some housekeeping. So painted black, and I name it as, I'm not sure. Painted black call. Okay, so I'm gonna do something similar here. Just add some extra breakup. Face call. Let's add some merges here. Let's take some axis projection again. So first off, I just wanna go to the shader. Then I wanna isolate. So it's this material. So we can see where it's not any type of dirt on top. It looks kind of simplistic. So just want to add some extra breakup on this as well. And let's take this and this one and set to node to shader. Yeah, so it's very simplistic. So let's do something. I want to access the occlusion as well. So I need a radio. And connect to transmitter. So let's take the occlusion. Let's say we want to do something with this. Just want to place it. So yeah, axis mask. something on axis projection is what we want. And let's take some tileable. Let's see. Let's take some and where's my occlusion? There we have it. So again, I want something that's kind of simple, not over the top, because a lot of the breakup also kind of come from the dirt, but this is just to give it some extra appearance of interest. So let's tweak this. Okay, so the face call, I'm gonna reuse this as well. Let's hook it up to the same. Sometimes it's a little wonky here. Let's see, I can take this from the top maybe. Let's take all the overs. Let's see if I can make something that's doesn't matter. Okay, so let's start to see here. What do we have here? So this is the face color. Same goes there. Maybe I have it even more in the facing and the roughness. Let's see here. So I might actually, when I invert this in the roughness, whoops. take a brightness lookup and just hook it up here, and gonna do something about this now. Let's see here what we have. So that's the axis projection there. So let's invert this and see what we have. Maybe something that's a little more crunchy, and let's add it. Yeah, something very subtle. Let's look at the shader now, see what we got. So hit 0 and go to the shader. Whoops. Yeah, it gives a little breakup in the spec there. It's gonna be interesting to see this rendered. Let's see if I crank this up. You can see it. Clamp. So when I add it, it's gonna be a rougher material. So I'm not gonna make it too obvious. Yeah, clamp after the merge, says Jens, and that's a good idea. See if I crank this up now. Yeah, now it behaves correctly. Because if I disable this, if you get too high values or do math, I could probably just make this screen. Let's see if that works as well. Yeah. So if I add something, we can go over 0 to 1, and that can be bad. So you can either clamp it or you can use the screen. So it's a good idea to clamp all the math channels like roughness and stuff like that. But yeah, here we see about it's on this material there. So let's see if I go back now, go to MISC, set nodes to shader without selecting anything. Yeah, now it works. Okay, what did we have? So decals. Was starting to do some. I want to add some extra breakup on this, so I just added. So here we have them. So I want to start to paint on this. So I want to take away some of the decals, but not scratch through to the underlying metal, just the decals itself. So let's take a look. find something interesting. Oops, I think my cat wants to go out. Hold on. It's gonna be a lot of meowing if I don't let Cleo go out. Let's see. So let's do something here. Let's do see. Something crunchy. Tool properties. I wanna see the image on its fully right now. Just wanna set this. Yeah. And let's see, tool properties, go back on the alpha again and take luminance. So I'm just gonna, so I made a mask here, just gonna mask off. Control plus to adjust opacity. Yeah, let's see. That's, whoops. Oh, that changed the image scale. That's strange. Control. Do I have some? I have to try it out later. So first off, or Control Shift. Let's try it. Oh, that moves it still. Strange. So, but Control Shift seems to move the image scale. Not sure which one is the preview alpha. I'm gonna go up to out here, so I wanna see this. Don't really need to see it shaded. It's gonna be faster. And let's go back to I don't think I have a bookmark for that either. Something I have to set up. Shift plus. I have to try it. Where is my decal? There it is. Yeah, I have a. What was it named? Yeah. Oh well. Let's see, what did you say, Jens? You said Shift plus. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so I tried it on the numerical keyboard and that moves it instead. But Shift plus on the regular keyboard, yeah, that's a good one. I didn't know that. Cool, thanks. That's a good one. So we want something crunchy here. Just start to break up some of these. So it's gonna be like it's been chipped off a bit, but it doesn't really go through the whole down to the metal. Just chipping off corners. Can actually take the metallic as well. In some places. Yeah, just here and there. Let's see, we'll do something here. Let's see, what kind of looks a little low res there. Let's see if I make a 4K mask here. Just want to try it out so I don't lose resolution here. I should hold up. Yeah. Yeah. So just gonna go take a first pass of this in some areas. So these, I have to do something about those. They look kind of too uniform. Actually, I can also, while we're here, take a look at the actual I'm gonna do some a clamp. I think it was like pure black, that one. I don't want that. Could add some to this as well. I think I'll just gonna add some breakup on the decals as well. Let's take this one. So we need a mask now here as well. So I need to make a mask out of this. And no, not saturate, luminosity. Okay, and then we want levels. And we want white constant. I'm gonna merge this together. Let's invert it as well. Okay, so let's make an overlay of this. And this one, I just wanna screen, I think. So mask it out with this mask that I made. Same goes here. Screen. So this is the roughness. Whoops. I want brightness look up independently of the roughness. And mask it as well. Screen as well. And something like that, and let's play now with the values a bit here. Yeah. So let's see. I think I have to take a look at. Oh, I think it'll work. Yeah. Let's go back to this place and see what we have. It's gonna be very subtle. Let's take a look with shader as well. I know it's there now. It's gonna bring a little extra interest, and I might tweak this up or down a bit later on. There we have it, more like it's been scratched. The decal has been scratched off, or the paint been scratched off, but it hasn't really gone through to the underlying metal there. So now I can just go to my decal and let's see. Let's name this remove and let's make some kind of backdrop so it stands out. So I like to name or color code my places where I paint with some kind of green. Makes it easy to see where I have those. So yeah, and I can remove some more of that. Let's take some. It's been banged up here. Same goes here. Let's go full screen. Some extra interest there. So we got a question here in the chat. Can more display displacement maps from ZBrush in the view? Well, you can displace if it's black and white. You can have a preview of it. It's not gonna be like full-on ZBrush quality, I guess, but you can map displacement to your shader. Yeah, I wouldn't say. Well, you can import a 32-bit displacement as a channel. I'm not relying on displaying stuff like that in Mori. It's gonna be really heavy. And you don't have that. You would need to really subdivide the object to be able to display so that kind of resolution. Let's do something here. So Jen says, just decimate the high res, do the rest with bump. Yeah, I mean, Mori is not really meant for the type of resolution that you can get from ZBrush. gonna choke on you, but you can preview stuff. But I kind of use bump more than displacement. Just gonna go over here as well. Let's see, yeah. Maybe I should add something on this tower. It looks so bare there. Should I add some nice little... Maybe take this one. So I need to jump into my paint layer. This one. Okay, what's going on? It's a little slow. Reset, there we go. I'm not sure where it was, scale 2. And I have to reset all of this. Going full on. I'm not. It's just. I'm just playing it. I don't really think about stuff like this at the moment. It's just fooling around. Maybe I need something here as well. Some text. Why not the serial number from the factory here as well? So I want some kind of lighter color. Of course, it's Meshmen Incorporated that made this. Danger. Maybe takes yellow, orange. Yeah, we need to have some labels here, back here as well. Radioactive core inside. Maybe on the side. So I shipped away stuff on the color, but I didn't do it on the roughness, and so I have to redo that into the node graph. So yeah, let's switch over to the Q&A. So if you see it on the rerun, there will be some track records of let's see here what was said. Browser source. Gonna lift this. So yeah, there was a thread here about displacement, so we can read this, or if you see this on the rerun, you can read it from here now. Gonna go back. So yeah, around 20 million. I worked with around 20 million polygons, but yeah, I wouldn't go over that in Mari. It starts to get really expensive then. Let's see. I need some serial numbers here, so we know that it's the same parts. Swedish Army needs some. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, I've been tweaking materials, adding some extra breakup. So I have, yeah, we have a something. I have to address this. So we can see here that my my mask, where I peeled off the logo, doesn't work correctly in the reflection and the roughness. So let's address that. So it's down here. So let's see. What happens here? I can just take this wanna have a radio here. See if I can fix that quickly here. So what I can do, yeah, I do like this. If I go to over here, and then I insert this mask here. Should fix that, I think. Let's see. Let's go back to shader. Just give it a second here to refresh the shader compilation, and then we'll see if it worked. Yeah, so I just used that mask to fix those areas where I've taken away some of the scratches. Now it works correctly. Let's see. This was a problem area as well before, so now it works. So what I did, if I go back, I just used the mask. Let's see, decal. I took this mask and added it to the mask, and instead of having it to the base, I get transparency on all of those. Because if I look at this now here, this is what gets fed into my material up on top. So now it has transparency in all of them, and the breakup. Yeah, so I think we are getting close to finalize today's session. So yeah, has been a lot of chat in the chat. So let's go over to this, so we can see what was there. So I'm gonna say goodbye for today soon. So yeah. It's nice to hang out with you guys, and so I will be back on Wednesday. So Wednesday at around 8 or so, depends on when I come home from work. I'm gonna continue and do some additional updates on these assets, and yeah. So yeah, I might start to use to set up the bump next. So just stay in touch on Wednesday. So, and yeah, if you see this in a rerun, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to be notified whenever I go live. Just hit the bell notification, and see you on Wednesday. And thanks for hanging out. Bye bye.